Hello friends, welcome back. In today's lecture, I am Dr. Milind Meshram, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry, KTHM College, Nashik. In the last lecture, we have seen two group disconnections. Okay, so we have seen the example where we have seen synthon that can be used for epoxide. So today I am going to talk about the two group disconnection with carbonyl compounds. So let us have this synthon. So we have seen the synthon A, that is so this synthon is having positive charge over here. So this can be used this is used for this epoxide. Okay, so this is the epoxide. So this synthon we can use for epoxide. So this is the chemical equivalent. Chemical equivalent for this particular synthon. Okay. So now we will see the synthon. Let's say synthon B. So it is having this synthon is having positive charge and carbonyl group. So this can be used. This is used for alpha halocarbonyl. Alpha halocarbonyl compounds. So we could get this kind of chemical equivalent. Okay. So this synthon B can be used. Means this can be used for alpha halocarbonyl compounds. So let us have the example which involves this synthon. Okay. So let us have the example which involves the synthon B. So this is the two group disconnection with carbonyl compounds. Okay. So today we are going to discuss the two group disconnection with carbonyl compounds. So let us have the example. Naphtidone. Okay. So it is an anti conversion agent with an obvious two group disconnection. Okay. So this is our target molecule. So this is our target molecules. So when you look at this molecule, you will spot the CN bond, okay, so that we can have the cleavage, okay, we can have the CN bond cleavage. So let's put this retrosynthetic arrow. When you draw a line like this, when you cleave this bond CN amine bond, so we will get these two synthon so this carbon will bear this positive charge and this okay, so this will have this negative charge. So these two synthon would be generated, okay. So this can be translated to since this synthon is having positive charge, so we can add chlorine over here, and this can translate to readily available imidazole. Okay, so this is the imidazole. So this is the weak base. Okay, so these two synthon can be translated to its corresponding chemical equivalents. These are the chemical equivalents. Okay, so these synthon can be translated to its corresponding halocarbonyl compounds. So the carbonyl group adjacent to this halide, okay, this halide, so its reactivity will increases. Okay, all right. So when you have target molecule like this, so we can have the obvious two group disconnections. So we can cleave this bond, CN bond, to get this two synthon. Alright. So let us have its synthesis. So alpha halo compounds can be generated by halogenation, okay, in the acid condition. So we will start with the ketone. is ketone. So chlorine in acetic acid can give rise to chlorine in acetic acid will give this halo compound. So this halo compound can be prepared from ketone, ester and carboxylic acid, and this carbonyl group and adjacent to halide, it makes them extremely reactive. So when you have this halo compound, then treatment with this imidazole will give this target molecule. Target molecule. So these halo compounds can be generated from ketone, ester or any carbonyl compounds. And so this carbonyl group adjacent to halides make it reactive electrophile. So it becomes reactive electrophile. Okay. So let us have another example. ICL aldehyde electrosynthetic analysis. So now we will discuss the electrosynthetic analysis for this ICA aldehyde. Okay, is aldehyde. So when you look at this molecule, you will have this, you think of this cleavage, okay, CO cleavage. Good. So let us put this electrosynthetic arrow and let us break the bond. Okay. So this is the CO cleavage, CO ether. So we will get these two things on. Oxygen. Okay. This oxygen, since it is more electronegative, so it tends to have the negative charge. So other symptom would be, so this carbon will have positive charge. So these are the symptoms. So let us translate into its respective chemical equivalent. this can be translated to halo compound. So we can keep bromo or fluoro halo compound. Bromo carbonate, bromo compound. Okay. So this bromo compound can be obtained from this aldehyde. Okay. So this is it. Butyl aldehyde. Butyl aldehyde. Okay. So this bromocarbonate can be obtained from a corresponding butyraldehyde. So this is how the retrosynthesis is. So we have taken this target molecule. This is ICA aldehyde. So when you look at this molecule, you will think about this CO cleavage. So by cleaving this bond, so you will get this two synthon. This synthon can be translated to its corresponding phenol, and this, as we are with this synthon, so this synthon can be translated with bromocarbonate, and this bromocompound can be obtained, can be prepared by using butyraldehyde. Okay, so we can generate this bromo halo compound from carbonyl compound. So let us have its photosynthesis. So in the end, we have got this starting material, butyraldehyde. Butyraldehyde. So this bromo compound, bromocarbonyl, can be generated by treating this aldehyde with bromine in the presence of acetic acid. So we will get this bromo compound. Bromo compound. Okay. So in the next step, so this in the next step, this is the next step, SN2 reaction. Okay, SN2 reaction. So we will get our target molecule. This is our target molecule. here we can observe there is a unusual acid to reaction. Why it is so? Because this is the tertiary center, and in tertiary center it is very hard to do acid to reaction. Okay, so because of this carbonyl compound and adjacent to this carbonyl compound adjacent to this halide, this compound becomes reactive electrophile. So this acid to reaction will undergo. So this is the unusual acid to reaction. So this is how this synthesis is. So starting from this isobutylaldehyde, okay, this is isobutylaldehyde. This is the isobutylaldehyde. This isobutylaldehyde will create, okay, when this isobutylaldehyde created with bromine in acetic acid, it gives rise to this bromoaldehyde, and then in the second step it undergoes unusual acid reaction to give this target molecule. So this is how we can synthesize this ICA-aldehyde, okay, in which this compound which can be generated, okay, from this synthol. So in this two group disconnection means we can see the two group disconnection. So now let's move to 1,3 disconnection. Disconnection. So we know how alpha beta unsaturated compound can be treated with nucleophile. So let us have an example. Suppose we have this alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. Okay. So when this nucleophile will attack at this beta position, okay, so this we will get this kind of intermediate So we would get this intermediate, then after protonation, so we would get this product. how this nucleophile will approach to this alpha beta unsaturated compound to get this product. So let us have this retrosynthetic analysis which involves this alpha beta unsaturated compound. Retrosynthetic analysis. Okay, for this particular retrosynthetic analysis for this particular alpha beta unsaturated compound. Suppose we have these target molecules like this. So this nucleophile is present at this third position. So we can write 1, 2, 3. So let us put this retrosynthetic arrow and let us break this bond. Okay, this one state disconnect. So we would get this two fragments, two synthol. Okay, so this will have this positive charge and this nucleophile suppose. So this positive charge is two atoms far away from this carbonyl group. Okay, 1 and 2, 3 means two atoms far from the carbonyl. So we can translate this synthol to this alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. This is the chemical equivalent for this particular synthols. Okay, so that's why this disconnection is known as one-state disconnection, because this nucleophile is attached at the third carbon. Okay, and this disconnection is known as one-state disconnection. So after disconnecting this bond, so we will get this fragment. Okay, so this can be translated to, we can add H. Okay, so let us have the example which shows one-state disconnection. Retrosynthetic analysis. Okay, so let us have this is our target molecule. So, as one of the guidelines says that if our compound contains heteroatom, so our disconnection must be next to the heteroatom. So, obvious disconnection would be from here. So, let us make this bond CS bond. Okay, high enter bond. So, we will get this. Sulfur will have the negative charge synthon would be this one. Okay. These are the synthons. So let us translate this synthon into its corresponding chemical equivalent. These are the chemical equivalent. Okay. So this is how the retrosynthesis for this particular high ether target molecule, and this kind of synthesis can be available only in the alkene where electron withdrawing group is present. For example, in this ester group is there, so we can have nitro group, cyanide group as well. Okay, so let us have its forward synthesis. So reacted with this alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound in the presence of base. So it will act as this proton. Okay, and it will get attacked like this. So you get this. So after protonation, this is our target molecule. So when this halon reacted with base, that base will attract that proton, and this anion will attack at this beta position to generate this intermediate. After protonation, we will get this product. So this is how we can achieve the synthesis of this electron withdrawing means carbonyl group containing high ether. So let us have the another example in this connection. Synthetic analysis. Okay, retrosynthetic analysis for atropine mimic So this is our target molecule. So let us put this retrosynthetic arrow and let us break this bond, CN bond, CN amine bond. Okay. So this group is attached at 3 positions, 1, 2 and 3. So let us put this 1, 3 disconnection. So we will get these fragments. And this will have positive charge, and this is partiality. So it will have the negative charge. So let us translate this syntron into chemical equivalent. So this will become the alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, and this can be this bipyrridine. Okay. So this is the simple retrosynthetic analysis for this particular target molecule. So when you look at this molecule, you will observe this CN bond. Okay, so we can easily cleave that CN bond, so which involves 1,3 disconnection. So after cleaving that bond, so we will get the alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound and this secondary amine. So this is how the retrosynthetic analysis. So let us have this forward synthesis. So let us have this forward synthesis for this particular molecule. We have this pyrrolidine reacts with this alpha beta unsaturated compound. So we will get this or target molecule. Okay, so this is our product, 80 to 90% yield. The target molecule. So when this pyrrolidine reacts with this alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, it gives rise to this product. Okay, so in this way we can achieve this synthesis of this particular target molecules. So in this way we can generate this target molecules, which involves the 1,3 disconnection. Okay, so 1,3 disconnection is nothing but the 2-group disconnections. 2-group disconnections reduces the complexity of target molecules and more efficient than 1-group disconnection. Okay, so therefore we should be always on the lookout for them. That means we should look out of using in our disconnections. Okay, so this is all about the today's topic. So I hope you have enjoyed this session and understood as well, and I am sure you will be able to do the retrosynthetic analysis very easily. Okay. So in the next lecture we will discuss the carbon-carbon disconnections. Okay. So we have seen the various carbon-oxygen disconnection, carbon-nitrogen, that is amine disconnection, carbon-sulfur, that is thioether disconnection so far. So of course the carbon-carbon disconnection is very important. So this is the carbon-carbon bond formation reactions are very important in the organic synthesis. So this disconnection we will see in the next lecture. Okay. Thank you.